Alright guys, what's going on? We're back again with another Warframe video today. And today we're going to be checking out what is the best Eidolon hunting weapons as well as frames. Basically what's the best loadout setup for you to solo. And also you could, this will also benefit groups. Now, the Warframes you're probably going to know which ones we're going to be talking about. But let's go ahead and talk about the guns. First getting some enemies just spawned in here real quick. So the first gun we're going to talk about is the Lanka. So I think the Lanka is by far the best sniper rifle for Eidolon hunting if you don't have any platinum for Riven mods. Let's go ahead and check out this build. Basically, if you don't have platinum to get Riven mods, then it's good to just run the Lanka. It's basically the cheap gun that just slaps. And with radiation and stuff like that, it's really good. Now, this is the radiation build. It's not over nearly as much damage. But to the Eidolon, it'll actually hurt a lot more. But we're just going to look at the standard for right now so we can actually see it slap these enemies with corrosive. So let's go ahead and check it. Boom, look at that. One tapped them. Now with the Lanka, you could get more damage with the Lanka by going a hammer shot opposed to a speed trigger or even the 100 munitions. But the only thing is the speed trigger just makes it feel better and more fluent. That's just a personal thing. If you want more damage though, hammer shot if you're Eidolon hunting, and then if you're just doing missions and stuff, I'd recommend the 100 munitions to get slash procs, because if you get a slash proc, if it's not a one shot already like that, the slash proc will definitely kill it no matter what. So Lanka is your best budget rifle where you ain't gotta worry about much. Now the Rubico we'll get to in a second. We're gonna also talk about the Snipetron Vandal. So the Snipetron Vandal, for me, this is actually my weapon for Eidolon hunting. The reason why is because Rivens for these are super cheap, and the disposition is pretty high, so you can get a really good Riven, and really good Riven, and basically just go ham. And also, there's no load up time or anything like that. It just one shots. Well, sometimes decides to one shot. But yeah, so for the most part, though, the Snipetron Vandal is like a great weapon because it's instant, no charge, and with the radiation build you can just keep dumping clips into the Eidolon. Now if you still don't have any platinum for the Riven Lanka, now Rubico Rivens are just insanely pricey. We don't have one. Radiation, we're gonna go corrosive here just so we can see more damage. But yeah, so pretty much though, the Rubico Rivens are just stupid expensive, and you're not going to see a lot of those. So without a Riven, I don't think the Rubico is nearly as good as the Lanka. Like even with just corrosive, just looking at it, slapping these enemies, really not too great. Slash procs will probably end up killing them. But if you don't get a slash proc, you pretty much won't kill. So there's that. Let's see, I got a slash proc, it's one shot. No slash proc, no one shot. So there's the Rubico though. But if you're hunting Eidolons and you need a really good sniper that's no Rivens required, that's really cheap build, Lanka all day. You'll have to format quite a bit though, because I want to say it starts off with like maybe one or no polarities. So that's kind of a bummer with the Lanka. But let's go ahead and talk about some frames. The best solo frames, if you're trying to solo, is going to be Vault or Rhino. And you could do Chroma as well. Chroma though, the only thing about Chroma is that you have to get damaged to build up your damage multiplier for like where you're slapping and just hitting like a truck. So with Vault, you have a free shield, or not a free shield, but you have a shield, and you also get the damage buff with it. So you get damage and protection from just one ability, which is pretty great. So you ain't gotta worry about much, and you can just pretty much dominate the Eidolon with Vault. Also you have your speed up, so that's pretty good. Your electric can stun some of the tiny little Eidolon people. Now, the other frame we're going to talk about is Rhino. Well, before we do that, let's check the build, actually. So, this is our support Volt build. This is going to be the main one we're going to be running here. Basically some range, some vitality, you know, durations. We want duration mods, mainly for the shield to be up. As you can see, we get 45 seconds. And the longer this thing's up, the more damage output you can put out on an Eidolon, so that's why you want it up as much as possible. But we're going to go ahead and move on to Rhino. So Rhino, if you have Rhino or Rhino Prime, it doesn't matter. They'll both just be fine. We're going for a lot of power here, a lot of power strength in the build. The reason why is because of power strength. That's going to help our Iron Skin, as well as our roar is going to be increased. So whenever we do Iron Skin, we'll be protected, and then we're just going to roar to get that bonus damage. You can see up there in the top right, 138%. And with that, we will also be able to just destroy, just completely wreck the Eidolon. But I'm a big fan of the Rubico, and I actually would have a Riven for it if they weren't so freaking expensive. But the Rubico Prime just doesn't really sit well with me, just because of the fact that it doesn't really do a lot of damage in comparison to the Lanka. Which, let's go ahead and check and see if we can do anything to change that. Let's see if there's anything. So we've got all of the stuff that we would possibly need on it. Hammer shot's really the only thing I could think, but even then, no rivens. Yeah, see, this is why the Lanka is just so much better. If you have a riven mod, then the Rubico is going to be just your go-to, your best one. But yeah, personally though, Lanka is like where it's at. If you really want to get stuff done, go to Lanka. And honestly, if you get a Lanka Riven, that's just going to make your Lanka even better. So I still think the Lanka is by far the best Eidolon hunting loadout. And honestly, this loadout with Rhino is probably the best solo. Volt's pretty good too, but Rhino has that just a little bit better defensives with that Iron Skin. But with these loadouts, you should be able to just dominate Eidolons as a group or as a solo. But yeah, guys, and that's pretty much it. Happy hunting.